Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everybody.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Bhavana Harinama Sankirtan ki. I'm going to tell you a short story. In case you have heard the story, you can raise your hand, okay? See, once upon a time, a queen, along with her friends, went to take a bath in a pond. Daily she used to go like that. So she kept all her nose ring, earring, necklace, bangles, and nupur, ankle, everything in the bank of the pond. And then they all entered the waters and they were splashing water, playing in the water for an hour. Then when they were about to come back, when she came back and putting on her dress, suddenly she realized her necklace was missing. It was one of the gifts by her friend. So she started weeping, and all her associates went to the king and said, the queen has lost her necklace. King said, what a great deal, I can get another one. She said, no, that's very, very dear to me, given to me by my friend. I want that necklace only, she said. Then the king called for the ministers and said, please make an announcement. Anybody who would get that necklace of my queen back, you will get 25 lakh rupees as a gift. The cost of the necklace was also 25 lakh. But anybody who brings it will also get 25 lakhs. Like that the king announced. Because queen will be happy with that. So all the Praja citizens became very enthused about this idea. They were searching for it frantically everywhere. And one sage was passing through a forest in the frontiers. Frontiers means in the periphery of that village. Morning he went out in the early morning, and then the sage was returning in the afternoon time. And again the sage was walking in the evening back to his hermitage. To his surprise, he saw there was one man hanging around from the early morning. Whole day he was in that place alone. And the sage was surprised. He asked the man, what are you doing in this forest area? This forest is full of trees, and you are sitting in front of this lake and you appear to be very morose. What happened to you? The man said, oh, nothing, I'm all right, he said. But the sage insisted, tell me if I can help you in some way. Man said, you promise me that if I get a big gift, you will not ask for a share. I am almost about to get that gift. He said, what is that? He asked. He said, the king has announced 25 lakh donation, gift for those who bring that necklace. I have found out where it is, but I am not able to pick up that necklace and give it to the king. And then he showed the sage in the lake. Look at this. Right below, it is glittering, shining. I put my hand, when I take out, I get only stone. I don't get the necklace. So, sage laughed and said, Acha, this is all you want. I will get it to you in a couple of minutes. And sage immediately gave him that necklace in the hand. So, how many of you have heard this story before? Oh, those of you who raised the hand now, you should not answer. Okay? Other than those who raised the hand now, they have the freedom to answer. You have to answer me how the sage could, within a couple of minutes, he could just give him the necklace in the hand, although this man could not take out. Yes? He's saying because of refraction, it was looking very near, but it must have been deep. That's the point, no? Okay? Another? Yes? Actually, you know this story before? If you know, please don't tell that. Those who know it, if you say, you look like a great guy, but then you have not kept the promise. So, it's like that Ben Johnson who took a steroid and ran fast, like that. So, because those who don't know, they get a chance to think, isn't it? Yes? You have not heard this before? Oh, he says it's on the tree, not on the water. Haribo! So we'll give him one prize. Pass it to him, Jagannath. So, how did it come on the tree? Because some crow had picked it up. While flying, it came and put it there and went away. And that was reflecting in the water. But the man was looking for the necklace where? The water. But the sage knew that although it appears to be in water, it is not in water. Where is it? On the tree. This is precisely what Krishna says. You will see here in the Bhagavad Gita. All of you repeat this. Urdhamulam adaha shakham ashvattam prahuravyayam. Chandamsi yasya parnani yastam veda saveda ved. Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is a knower of the Vedas. Where do you find such a tree? Only in the reflection. Because generally branches are up, root is down, but in reflection it is opposite. So here you see the purport Prabhupada describes. The material world is described as an upside down banyan tree. Why it is compared to upside down tree? For one who is engaged in fruitive acts, there is no end to this banyan tree, which is very, very deep rooted. So in the banyan tree, there are many branches. Upward branches are like heavenly planets. And middle are like middle planetary system, and below ones are like lower planetary system. So the branches are compared like that. And like a monkey jumps from one branch to another, the jivatmas are jumping up and down. They sometimes go to heaven, sometimes to hell, correct, no? How many of you have been in a giant wheel? You know giant wheel? Yeah, isn't it? When you go up, how do you feel? Very jolly, huh? The whole city you can see. But when you come down, you are very fearful because it looks like you are going to be toppled and you are going to fall off, correct, no? We used to hold on to it, woo! We used to shout like that, isn't it? Similarly, when you go to heaven, the jivas enjoy. When they come to hell, they suffer. Sometimes you are king, sometimes you are citizens, sometimes you are devata, sometimes we are in hell suffering. So we all are rotating in the cycle of birth and death in this world, in this banyan tree going up and coming down. What is the purpose of Vedic hymns? To elevate oneself from material world to spiritual life. Who can understand this tree of illusion? One who understands this indestructible tree of illusion can get out of it by the sword of detachment. Asanga shastrena dridhena chitva, he says. Take the sword of detachment and cut this root of this tree, upside down tree, and then go to spiritual world, he says. And then he says, how do you do that? Devotional service is the best way. And detachment from mental activities and positive attachment by transcendental service. Like that Lord Krishna says in this chapter. Here in the left side you see the tree, correct, no? Upside down tree. He talks about this. This is the tree. You see upside down tree. See here there is a river in which it is reflecting. What is this river? Desire. And what is that desire? Desire to be independent. As soon as the jiva wants to be independent, in that desire, river of independent desire, this world is seen, visible. As soon as your independent desire is finished, you simply want to serve Krishna, then this material world will stop existing for you. Then you go back home, back to Godhead. Then this material desire to enjoy separately should be transformed into a spiritual desire to serve the Lord. Is it clear? Yeah. Yeah. So now we'll read one more verse. See here, material world is situated on desire. Prabhupada says desire is the root cause of things being situated in reflected material life. Material world is everything being an exact replica. Similarly, everything is there in spiritual world. So spiritual world must also have variegatedness. See, for example, somebody is in a jail and there are many people walking on the road. From there, through the bars, reflection is coming on the wall. On the wall of the jail, you will only see shadows. Correct, no? Based on that, you can know that there are real people walking on the road. Like for example, in Boston Temple, I stay in a mezzanine floor. You know mezzanine floor? Mezzanine floor is below the ground level. But in the mezzanine floor, there will be a window type of thing where you can see the people's feet walking, going, correct, no? Because it's below the ground level, you can see the people. But people's walking, their reflection will come on the wall. No? So the real people are on the road outside, but their shadows are coming on the wall. So that's why material world is called shadow and spiritual world is called substance. Substance and shadow. So in this world also you see beautiful people. Like for example, like boys are attracted to young beautiful girls. Somebody has a beautiful eye, beautiful face cut, beautiful cheeks or beautiful ears. They're charmed, but ultimately if you see this beauty, where is it coming from? It's coming from the spiritual world. Spiritual world has beautiful personalities. Their beauty is pervertedly reflecting in the material world on the flesh. So this beauty in this world is only skin deep. 1 millimeter you remove the cover of the skin, it will look like what is hanging in a meat shop. Correct, no? It will be ugly because this beauty is cheating beauty, fleeting beauty, false beauty. Whereas where is the real beauty? That's in spiritual world. Because that beauty is there, it is reflecting in this world. Similar to this. Just like you might have seen sometimes you go to somebody's house, they have a showcase in which they have apple and grapes and mangoes. Looks like that, but they're all plastic ones. You seen the correct? Can you eat them? No? I say you try to eat it. How was it? Isn't it? When you try to eat, you realize it's not the real one. It's a cheating one. Correct, no? That's what he's saying. But this variety gives us a clue that there has to be a real variety somewhere else. No? Like how many of you have seen the Mrigatrishna, we call it, in the road, sometimes it looks like a big river is flowing. You've seen that? On a hot sunny day. When you go near it, do you find it? You don't find it. It's just a smoke kind of thing, isn't it? But that gives a clue that real cooling waters must be in some reservoir somewhere else, of which this is just like a reflection kind of thing. If one knows the Vedas, you know the process of detachment. If one knows the process, then only one knows the Vedas. One has to know how to detach from this world and go back there. Cut out the reflection tree. Adaschordvam prasritastasya shakha guna pravriddha vishaya prabalaha adhascha mulanyanu santatani karmanu bandhini manushya loke. See the branches of this tree extending downward and upward, and what is nourishing this tree is three gunas: Sattva-guna, Raja-guna and Tama-guna. And that is also visible in this world. You can see if you are walking on the road, see there is a 3-story building. First floor, second floor, third floor. The first floor you find there is a permit room, beer bar, people who are drinking, smoking and all those things. Dim light, cabaret dances going on. And then first floor you find there's a gym, treadmill. People are, boys and girls, they are all doing some exercises. Or there's a beauty parlor. Nowadays there is one for men, one for women also nowadays. Men are also in beauty parlor, correct, no? There's a beauty saloon. All that in the second floor. The third floor you find there's a yoga studio. People are doing pranayam, asanas, yoga. There is a ISKCON temple also. So when you're walking in the road, which floor a boy is likely to choose? It depends on what? First floor, second floor, third floor. Which one? He's saying third floor. Of course, you will choose third floor. But I'm asking the boy which floor he will choose depends on what? Modes. Exactly. Somebody is in Tamaguna, he will choose for ground floor. And then somebody in Rajaguna, the upper one. Sattva-guna, upper. Correct, no? So that's what he is saying. The 3 gunas are nourishing this tree. And this is observable. One day, my Shiksha Guru, Devamrit Prabhu, used to come to IIT 1991, 92. So one day he was telling us that when a beautiful girl is walking on the road, you look there, not look at her, look at the other people around, he said. Even the old people. I'll be amazed. Look at their eyes. You can see the passion in their eyes. That is called Rajaguna, you are saying. One day we were returning to Chopati temple at about 10:30 in the night. We were returning after the program was over. At that time, there was a loud metallic music. That's going on. Big sound. So he was selling, and as we were entering, there was a pandal just next to temple. There were boys and girls doing dandiyaras. And Prabhuji said, Yatatohyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramatini haranti prasavam manaha. This verse comes in Bhagavad Gita. He said, even if a man is of very great discriminative intelligence like a jnani, he can be allured by more, illusion in this world, between the dealing of the boys and girls. But one who is really intelligent will know that these bodies are simply made of three things. What are they? Mucus, bile, and air. You all did that verse, Janmadhyasya yataha anvayat, correct? Somebody must have done yesterday. Correct, no? Tejo vari mridam yata vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha. He says, Tejo means fire, vari means water, mridam means mud. If you combine these three, you can make a beautiful doll, correct, no? Water, mud, and air, if you mix it. Similarly, this body is like a beautiful doll made by Maya Devi. Looks very attractive, but inside what is there, we know very well. Nothing beautiful about the body. It's horrible. When we go to bathroom, we know what comes out our nose. Eyes are like a tear spot. There's a wax spot. Nose is a mucus spot, isn't it? There is a urine part, stool part. It's a dirty body, it is. But Atma is glorious. Atma is divine, but not this body. Body is horrible. But although body is horrible, still we use the body in Lord's service. Therefore we say, Shariram Kaladharma Sadhanam. If you use it in Lord's service, then body becomes divine. Like iron rod put in fire. Otherwise, this body is used for sense gratification. It is pathetic. Prahlad Maharaj is asking, our body itself is abominable. How can we enjoy with one more body which is equally abominable? He's saying. So if you have this knowledge, then you have the sword of detachment. With that knowledge, you can cut this upside down tree and go to spiritual world. That's what he's saying. This tree also has roots going down and yeah. Prabhupada is saying different species are manifest, different according to their modes, isn't it? Yeah. These examples I told you just now. Yeah. Narupamasyeha tatopalabhyate nanto nachadirna tatam sampratishtha nanto nachadirna cha sampratishtha ashwatthaменam suvirudhamulam asanga shastreda dridhena chitva tatapadam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyaha tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yata pravritti prasrita purani. See, it's very difficult for us to see this tree in totality. You cannot perceive it fully. Heaven, hell, and all these planetary systems, everybody is like a frog in the well. We all are in a little world, imagining our little world to be everything. Correct, no? Because it's very difficult to see the whole world unless you hear from the Shastra. It's not possible. Like everybody is taking selfies, standing in different places, different poses, and they're sending it here and there. Everybody is in a little world. They are thinking who to be the center of the world? Themselves to be the center of the world. Isn't it? That's what he's saying. The real form of the tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment, he's saying. And then he's saying, Tatapadam tat parimargitavyam jasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyaha. One should go to that world from where you will never come back, he's saying. Nani vartanti, you will never. Tameva chadyam purusham prabhadye, the personality of Godhead who stays there in the spiritual world, by surrendering to Him, one should go back there. Yata pravritti prasita purani, he's saying. Because from Him, everything has expanded. Since time immemorial. We should go to that world, he's saying. Yeah. So, here, how to find out the cause? See here, fathers. If you go, then Brahma is the father of all the living beings. And then his father is Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Where does he come? He comes from Mahavishnu. Where does Mahavishnu come from? He comes from Krishna. Therefore, one should hear in parampara to understand this. And then, what is the benefit of this knowledge? One should gradually become detached from false reflection. See, how many of you, sometimes when you're attacked by illusion, after that attack, when you committed mistakes, then you look back and think, oh, this Maya made me foolish. How many have experienced? We all have experienced. Yeah, that's why in human body, you have the ability to assess yourself and understand this is illusion, this is reality. Correct, no? So we should know the difference. What is truth and what is not. What is divine and what is mundane. Correct, no? So by that knowledge from the Shastra, we can clearly come to understand. Last box says, you see, attachment for sense enjoyment and lording over material nature is very strong. Therefore, learn detachment by discussion of Shastra and hear from those who actually in knowledge, the sadhus. When you hear from saintly persons, they are living a pure life, and when you hear the Shastras from them, then gradually you will see that we come out of the illusion. So then we will come to the Supreme Lord Krishna. Then that detachment will come, he's saying. Yeah. One more verse we will read and then we will go to there. Why should we surrender to the Supreme Lord? Because he's the cause of everything. He is the source of everything, he is the cause of everything. One more verse we will say. Nirmana moha Jita sanga dosha Adhyatma nitya Vinivritta kamaha Dvandvair vimukta Sukha dukkha sajnair Gacchantya mudaha Padamavyayam tat. This is a secret verse. If you have these qualifications, you are eligible to go back to Godhead. But the first thing he says, those who are freed from false prestige, nirman. We have to give up the ahankar. I am great. I am the first one to do this. Nobody can do this. I am very indispensable. Self-importance should be given up. Nirmana. And moha means one should give up illusion. What is illusion? What is pure, considering it to be impure? What is impure, considering it to be pure? For example, let me give you an example. You will see that eating, I was telling you, eating meat, drinking wine, it's impure. Correct, no? But some boys consider that very ecstatic, very great. Correct, no? And you tell them to chant Hare Krishna, they will say, oh, no, we don't want to do all this. Correct, no? What is good, they reject. What is ruining their body and mind, they're accepting it as all good. That is illusion. Illusion is to consider pain-giving things to be pleasure-giving. Correct, no? Camel is eating thorns, cactus. You've seen that? And when it is biting it, it cuts the gums and releases the blood. And the blood goes inside. Then the cactus, he thinks it's the juice of the cactus. But what is it drinking? His own blood. But he's thinking it's wonderful. Hey, this juice is very nice. It's not any juice, his own blood only. Similarly, there are many activities which are blood-sucking activities in this world, that's what the foolish living being thinks it's very wonderful. Like all the regulatory principles I was telling you, illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and all these are pain-producing. But foolish people consider them to be happiness-producing. Like one boy was sitting in the bus, I was sitting and he is sucking cigarette from the mouth and releasing through the nose, goof, 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 like this. Like a train releases, no? The top. I was wondering, my Lord, I'm sitting little away, I cannot tolerate it. I'm coughing. This fellow is releasing from the nose. Going inside more than coming from nose. Horrible. Because he's thinking it's a very wonderful thing to do. That's moha. In the same manner, people, you ask them to come to temple, look at the deities of the Lord and bow down. He will say, what is this? You are all worshipping doll. They don't have respect for the deities. But he is attracted to the body of a woman. Like one boy in my class, one beautiful girl left her kerchief and went away. He picked up the kerchief and came and showed all of his friends. Hey, I got her kerchief, I got her kerchief. Was dancing. Tomorrow I have a reason to meet her. The next day morning she came, he went to her and told her, Madam, you forgot your kerchief. She said, okay, thank you. She took it. Then came back and said, she told me thank you, she told me thank you. And that one day when he was having the kerchief, he thought it was very divine kerchief. Because it's a girl's kerchief. What is divine about it? There is all stuff of the nose inside it. Considers it divine. So considering impure thing to be pure. And the deity form of the Lord, Radha Madhava, is so pure. And he will not come to temple and bow down to Lord. He rejects. That's why this is called moha. Moha means that which is temporary, he considers permanent. That which is permanent, he considers. That which is impure, considers pure. That which is pure, he considers. Yeah, that is called moha, you see. So we have to get out of this illusion. The material world is temporary, is attached to it. Spiritual world is eternal, he doesn't want to hear about it. That is moha, you see. Nirmana, moha. And jita sangha dosha. What is sangha dosha? One should give up bad association. See, the next slide nicely explains each of the steps. So I will show it, I'll make it bigger and show you. Okay, now we can see. Is it small or big enough? Yeah. See, we have to give up the puffed up nature. Pride we should give up. And then pride is due to illusion. So illusion, one should give up the illusion behind the chasing after the mirage in this world. And then freedom from false association. What is false association? Family, society, nation, and false proprietorship. So false proprietorship means Hiranyakashipu wanted to perpetrate the whole world and then he was destroyed, you see. Alexander and all those people. Similarly, we also hold on to things of the world, but we forget the Supreme Lord. Understand the eternal. Adhyatma Nitya. One should develop spiritual knowledge. Cultivate knowledge of what is. See, these slideshows, where are they available? I will tell you. Very simple. Just go to Google and put Radheshyamdas in Google. Click it. It will directly take you to a website. www.radheshyamdas.com. If you go to that, there will be a strip in the top. Just put Gitamrita Bindu. You put Gitamrita, Gitamrita, Gitamrita space Bindu. You put. Immediately it will give you PPTs in Telugu and Kannada and English also, Hindi also. So English one doesn't have English in the brackets, plain one. If you click it, all the 18 chapters, there are PPTs available like this. This is 15th chapter. So 15th chapter beginning, you can see, you just go to the website, I'll just show you. Here you find your contents here, correct now? You put here. See, Gita Amrita Bindu you have put. If you put immediately it comes, you see. Marathi, Kannada, Marathi. I think this is English, I think. If you click this, yes, 108 you will get totally. 108 sessions, each 30 minutes lecture. So in this, you need which one? 15th chapter, no? So go to the 15th chapter, directly go to. This is 15:1 to 6, leaving the material and attaining 15. So here if you go, either click in the middle or click here, box. If you just click it, immediately you get the PPT, correct? This is the PPT I'm using now. If you click this, you immediately it will download. Correct? This is the one. It is available. So all this will come here, see? And you can download it. So all are available for you. So this is the, you found it? And this is the lecture, 30-minute lecture. This is 30 minutes and this is a PPT available for everything. So we have made everything available free for everybody. Anybody want to use, second use, okay? So you don't have to worry about quickly noting down. क्या प्रभु जी जल्दी में बता रहे हैं, ऐसा मत सोचना है. You can go there and take it. Leisurely you can see that, okay? And then Dvandvai Vimukta, you see, he's saying Adhyatma Nitya means right now you are cultivating spiritual knowledge, all of you. Cultivate knowledge of what actually is own and what is not. Krishna is yours and you are Krishna's. That is your real own thing. Then you go beyond this world. And what is duality? Dual conception means happiness, distress, pleasure, pain. Go beyond that. Dvandvai Vimukta. In this world, those things are there, but don't get bogged down by them. Somebody asked Gandhi, somebody is insulting you in the newspaper, should we write an article back? Gandhi said, if a newly purchased shoe bites you, will you bite the shoe? He asked her. You'll spoil your mouth by biting the shoe. He said, let people say what they want. So he was very cool. In the same manner, Sukha, Dukkha, Mana, Apaman will come. Don't counteract them because you'll forget God by counteracting them. Just do your best and leave the rest to Krishna. And then, Vinivritta Kama, done with material lust. That means people who are lustily chasing after the lusty activities like Ravana in this world, we are repeatedly coming in this world. So we have to Vinivritta Kama, Dvandvai Vimukta, Sukha Dukkha Sajñayat. So these are the qualifications given to go back to Godhead, you see. So in this way, yeah, when one expects man, honor, then one is in moha. Then he cannot conquer the modes, affected by dualities. How to get liberation? Expect no honor, free from moha, not affected by modes, develop spiritual knowledge, then you lead to surrender. In this way you can, one is way to bondage, one is way to liberation. One takes you up. So, see this fellow is proud fellow, see? This fellow. So this is what Prahlad Maharaj is also giving this knowledge, you see. Then after this sloka, then we will get into the activity. Nadad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yadgatva nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. See, dham means what? Like we say Vrindavan dham, correct, no? Mathura dham, Dwaraka dham, Rameshwaram dham. Dham means abode. Tad dhama, that abode, mama means what? Mine is saying. And what is saying? Natad bhasiti surya. There is no need of sun or moon or electricity there because everybody's body is self-effulgent, he says there. So that's the way everybody's body is there. You can check it in Bible. There is a verse which says, Jesus is saying, my Father's abode is not illumined by sun or moon or anything, he says, because everybody's body is self-effulgent. So, in this way you will find Krishna's abode is always self-effulgent. Prabhupada says that one should be captivated by the information. See here he says. One should be desired to be transferred to spiritual world. If one is too much attached to material world, then it's difficult to cut off this tree. But if you have a strong desire to return back there, then you can turn back there. Yeah. Paramam Mama. So, the spiritual world also, there are many things. Now I will show you one video of the spiritual world, you will get an idea. See, why we are talking about somebody may say, is the spiritual world not your imagination? That such a thing exists just because Bhagavad Gita says we are accepting it, people say sometimes. Therefore, you can see here how logical and reasonable the truth presented in Vedanta and the Bhagavad Gita, you can see it. For example, anything in technical line, what do? You always decode it by accept a challenge and decode it by solving the problem. Same manner, let us take one by one. Who am I? What's my consciousness? What's the goal of life? Logically, you can analyze. Cause, effect, karma, the three gunas. You can see these things. Like, for example, a living body, it undergoes 6 changes, whereas the dead matter, like the table, undergoes only one change, dwindling. Correct or not? These are 6 changes in a living body: birth, growth, maintenance, production, byproduct, dwindling, death. Correct, no? These changes you see. We all are seeing in front of our eyes. Any living body, take a dog, take a cat, take a tree, take a human, anybody. Can see these 6 changes. Matter can never grow unless there is a soul inside it. Matter will only depreciate. Another second thing, a male and female living body can multiply similar species. Machines can't reproduce by union. See here? A man and a woman produce a baby, dog and dog produce puppies, isn't it? Cat and cat produce baby also. Have you ever seen this one? They don't produce, machines don't reproduce, isn't it? Living body has consciousness, thinking, feeling, willing. Matter has no consciousness. That's another thing. Like, when it is cold, you cover yourself. When it is hot, you put on a fan or something. So we have consciousness, thinking, feeling, willing. These 3 things you can only find in a living body. Now you see the internal qualities. Now I told you externally observable things. Internally observable thing. You will find that all of us, when I was traveling in America, many boys, girls after my program came and said, oh, my parents are in Punjab. Somebody said, my parents are in Kashmir. Please pray for our parents' protection, because we are worried about our safety of our near and dear ones. Correct, no? So you all want to protect your body. You want to protect the body of your near and dear ones, and you want them to live forever. Correct, no? You also want to live. You want them to live also. So that's one strong expectation from us. Similarly, we all strive for perfection. All of you think for a moment, do you strive to commit mistake, or you strive to do things perfectly? Therefore, you want to acquire knowledge. Get knowledge and do things perfectly. Correct? No? Otherwise, why companies have quality control department? So that means we are knowledge-seeking entities. We are permanent life-seeking entities. Similarly, we are happiness-seeking entities. Satisfaction and happiness. We all are looking for happiness also. These 3 things. These 3 are called as Sat, Chit, Ananda. You will see that. Even a plant kept in a dark room, if you open the window, it will go towards the window. It wants to go from darkness to light, ignorance to knowledge. You will see. Wherever there's a living body, it always wants to go from darkness to light, ignorance to knowledge. You will see that. How many of you can experience these 3 things internally in your body? That you're looking for happiness, not suffering. You're looking for permanent life. You don't want to be killed by somebody. And you're looking for knowledge. And you don't want to be seen as a fool committing mistake. How many of you can experience this? Yeah. Correct, no? So that's a living body. Because you are a living now. You can understand what I'm saying. So 3 external, 3 internal symptoms of the presence of soul I have told you. Now we can take 3 more. The conscious soul means 3 activities happen. Perception, all of you repeat. Perception. Mental activity. Purposeful action. For example, I'm walking on a road. If a snake is crossing the road, I can perceive it. Correct, no? See, whatever is on the road, I can perceive it. Like a Himalayan mountain cannot see the ocean. Ocean cannot see the Himalayan mountain. But I can see both of them. Correct, no? Because I am a living entity. I can perceive both. Dead things cannot perceive one another. But living personality can perceive. Now, not only perception, but mental activity. Correct, no? Like as soon as I see the snake, what mental activity goes on in my mind? Snake can bite. It can be fatal. That's a mental activity. What is the purposeful action? I run away from that place. Or I take a stick and beat it. Correct, no? That is purposeful action. And this you will always see in a living body. Like take, for example, you go to somebody's house. Immediately they bring a gulab jamun and keep a vati in front of you. You may be talking, but then there is perception. Oh, very good. Something nice they have brought. You may not tell them, I like it, but you are looking at it. And then there's a mental activity. Gulab jamuns are generally very sweet and very attractive. I would like to eat it. I'm just waiting for them to give me a go-ahead. Huh? Isn't it? And then when they say, hey, come on, please take it. Half an hour you are not taking it. Please take it. Then immediately you take it. Huh? That is purposeful action. Correct, no? What are the three things? Perception, mental activity, purposeful action. Correct, no? These three things are possible where there is a living entity present in the body. Only then it's possible. Yeah. Actually, now if you take a robo, for example, using sensor, robo can also perceive. There is object identification machine, correct, no? For example, as soon as you open your computer, or if you switch on a robot, it can tell you good morning, correct, no? But if you program the robot to say good night in the morning, what will it say? Good night. Because you have programmed it to say so, correct, no? It does not have awareness. It has no consciousness, correct, no? So, that is the main difference between a living body and a dead robo. Huh? So, these three, totally 9 I have told you now. 3 externally observable, 3 internally observable, and 3 other observations I told you. So, that is how the knowledge of the Gita and the Vedanta is impeccable. Huh? Yeah. Similarly, you can use analytical thinking to explore many things. For example, here is Florida PhD, research on mantra meditation. You must have seen that, correct, no? You all must have seen that video. Yeah. The regulated habits, discipline, all these things are very helpful. They have found out. This one video you might not have seen probably. I'll just show you one thing. Short one.
There's an Adventist physician in St. Helena, California. Her name is Dr. Arlene Taylor. If you want
You're not seeing that.
to write that name down in the back of your bulletin, take a look at her website. She's a brain specialist. She works with the brain surgeons and the neurosurgeons and the brain specialists, but she's especially been involved with neurosurgeons that are not Adventists, that they're not even Christian. They don't believe in God. And they've discovered something very unique. Jeannie actually, when heard her, did a powerful research about the brain, and I've gone to her website, communicated with her. She reports about these non-believer brain surgeons and specialists who are now doing laboratory experiments on, are you ready for this? Prayer. Now, I took chaplaincy at Loma Linda and so forth, and I know that the hospital doctors and surgeons are always happier when an imam or a bishop or a priest or a minister or a person will come in and have prayer with the patient before surgery. They couldn't understand it, they don't understand it, but they know that prayer makes things go better for the patient and the family. But how do you prove that in a laboratory? Because science in medicine is all based on testing and laboratory. You know, you've got certain drugs, you take some of the real thing and the others are placebo, right? And then they decide which ones to put on the market. How do you test prayer in a laboratory? You know, Ellen White says something about this. She says that when we pray, the brain emits electrical impulses. Now, I personally believe that God has a great big cosmic computer, and He can, that big screen, He can catch those prayers, and He can also communicate with me that way. But scientists now, Dr. Taylor says this, in blind studies, they have put these electrodes on your head so that when you pray for someone who's in intensive care in the Orlando hospital, maybe they're even semi-conscious, they don't even know. They don't know about this and you don't know. But when you pray a prayer for anyone, the instant you pray, something happens in the brain of that person you're praying for. That's scientific evidence now that they don't even want to go there because they don't understand this. It's something spooky. It's something mysterious. But there's power in prayer. And we're not praying anymore. Listen to this. I am not finished yet. Dr. Taylor has also discovered something else very significant. And that has to do with reading something spiritual, devotional. These brain specialists, and again, they're not Christian, they have no orientation with biblical, and they don't understand this. It's spooky. But they have discovered when a person reads something devotional for just 12 minutes every single day, out loud. You're not ready for this. And especially different kinds of prayer that are praise and so forth. They can actually change the brain cells, and that does amazing things. But reading something devotional, spiritual for just 12 minutes out loud every day, are you ready for this? Can actually reverse dementia and possibly impact Alzheimer's. This is science now, and they don't understand this.
It can reverse Alzheimer. What is the other one he said? Dementia, amazing. Nowadays, many scientific researches are coming on these things. So 12 minutes, you have to read out loud the shloka recitation, and when you read. So many such researches are coming nowadays. Yeah. And actually in Gita, you also learn about lust, anger, greed, and the meaning of ultimate purpose of life, pure love, awakening. So, like hippies, if you see, they didn't even know who Krishna is, who Rama is, correct? No? But they chanted the Hare Krishna and then they became exalted. You can see that. So there are many areas like this that Gita talks about. So spirituality is not blind faith. There are many things in it. See, this is called as Pascal's swagger. Say somebody says, yes, I believe that spiritual world exists. So what he says, there is infinite gain. You get eternal life, peace, liberation, everything. Eternal life. Like Ajamila was saved, Tukaram went and all that. And if somebody thinks that spiritual world is false, no, in case spiritual world is false, in case, there is no spiritual world at all. Still, here it says, one lived a peaceful life, purposeful living. Righteousness brings peace even if rebirth is doubted, like the Chanakya says. Someone, staff reporter asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, you are all always after Krishna, 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 going back to Godhead and all. What if you come to know after death that there is no Goloka? There is no Krishna, there is no life, eternal life. Prabhupada said, what do you think we are missing now? See, we are eating 3 times hot prasadam. Look at you. Many of the people in America, they cook only on Sundays. And they keep it in fridge. And they take out from the fridge and they put it in the microwave oven. Every day they just heat it and eat it. But look at us, we are eating 3 times first class prasad. And then early morning, is there anybody who gets up in the morning and jumps and dances except in ISKCON? Outside world, people, when they get up in the morning, people have so much anxieties what to do. Prabhupada said, we are standing and dancing. And Prabhupada said, look at our relationship with each other. We are bowing down to each other and bowing down to God. We have mutual respect for each other. And also, we are doing some good for the world. We have a global, for the global peace, we have a peace march. We go out in the streets and do Harinam. We are actually always thinking about welfare of the people. So we are leading a very life with a positive mindset. Is it not true? And Prabhupada said, and we actually teach people that you should not have any malice towards any creature, not even an ant. We don't kill the other creatures. We lead a very simple life. So we are non-harmful species on earth because we don't harm anyone even by thought, word and deed. That way we are adding to the healing cells in this world. We are not like cancer cells creating trouble in the world like terrorists. Correct, no? So Prabhupada said, if you see from our own point of view and about all the other living entities with whom we are interacting, we live a very happy life and we haven't missed anything in life, Prabhupada said. But then if you come to know that after death Krishna is there, what will happen to you? Prabhupada asked him. Because you have not done your homework of preparing to go back to God. Then suddenly you realize there is God, what will happen to you? You are gliding down to hell. That's why what Pascal says here, Pascal Swagger, this Swagger, what it says, spiritual world is true. In case somebody didn't believe, if spiritual world happens to be true, then he misses eternal joy, he has to face karmic reactions, he'll be thrown into lower births, and Duryodhana rejected Lord Krishna and faced ruin. On the other hand, you see, if spiritual world is false hidden belief, there is no gain, no spiritual benefit, and possibly a purposeless and anxious life. Correct, no? Most people lead a purposeless, anxious life. That's why if you put faith in spiritual world, you gain everything if it is true. And you lose nothing if it is false also. Like that he says. So it's a smart and safe to believe this thing. It's like buying a small ticket that could win you $1 million. So why miss this opportunity? That's the point. So there is a description about Goloka Vrindavan. There is a description about Vaikuntha planets also. In the scriptures, I will just show you just 1 minute. Get an idea if you see this. Purushaha Sarve Vaikuntha Murtayaha Yena Mitta Nimittena Dharmena Radhayan Harim. So Bhagavatam it is described, Vishnu Purana, Bhagavatam, Padma Purana, they all describe that in Vaikuntha planets there are many residents living there whose form look very similar to Vishnu. They are called Vishnu Dutas. They also have four-handed form. They have Mukut, Shankha Chakra, everything. But what are the main differences? Anybody knows between Lord Vishnu and them? Yes? There's a golden hair on the chest of Lord Vishnu. What is the name of that? It's called a Srivatsa. Srivatsa China. Another one is Kaustubha jewel. Another one is Kaustubha jewel. So we'll give them a prize. Haribo, come. They both exactly quoted the name. So he said about the Srivatsa, golden hair, and Lord says, Haribo. He told about the Kaustubha jewel. So in that golden hair is a place where Lakshmi lives. Sometimes Lakshmi comes out and massages the feet of the Lord. Sometimes she resides in the heart of the Lord. So this is only with Vishnu. Vishnu Dutas don't have that. That's the main difference. Plus power also. Lord's power is infinite times more. Just like, say, all of us are living in India, but the Prime Minister is also living in India. He can declare a holiday for the whole country, correct, no? On his birthday. Can he do or not? He can do that, and it will be a holiday. Can any of us declare a holiday? We can declare, but nobody will follow it. Well, we don't have that power, Prime Minister's power. So Lord Vishnu has infinite power. So the devotees, what is their qualification? Ye animitta nimittena, it is said. See, they are rendering service without desire for sense gratification. That's the main qualification. Spiritual world, everybody, see, all of you repeat this verse. Atmendriya priti vancha tare balikam Krishnendriya priti ichha dhare premanam. Very simple formula. If I want to gratify my senses, it is called calm. If I want to please the Lord's senses, it is called prem. So in spiritual world, which one they want to do? Calm or prem? Prem.
Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narashardula Kartavyam Devamanthi
Yatra chadya pumanaste Bhagavan Shabda Gocharaha Satpam Vishtabhya Virajam Swanam no Mridayan Vrishaha. In the Vaikuntha planets is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original person and who can be understood through the Vedic literature. He is full of the uncontaminated Sattva Guna, it says. See, in this word Sattva Guna sometimes can lead to pride. I am very knowledgeable. Then he comes to Rajaguna. Or Sattva Guna person can become little complacent also. When he becomes complacent, he comes to Tamaguna. So Sattva Guna becomes sometimes mixed with Rajaguna, Tamaguna in this world. Whereas in spiritual world, Virajam, it is said. That is called Vishuddha Sattvam. That means Tamaguna, Rajaguna, Sattaguna. Beyond that is called Vishuddha Sattva, which is pure goodness. Lord is always in Shuddha Sattva.
Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya.
Yatra naishreyasam nama vanam kama dubhair drumaihi sarvartu shribir vibhrajat kaivalyamiva murtimat. So in Vaikuntha plants, there are a lot of forests and trees and plants there. And in those forests, the trees are all called as Kalpavriksha trees. What is speciality? Any tree can give you any flower or any fruit. In this world, you go to a banana tree and ask for banana, it will give you banana, right? Ask for a mango, it will give you banana only. They can't give you anything else. There they can give you all types of fruits and flowers. In all seasons. So in this world also we have imitation trees of the spiritual world, but these trees have limitation. They can only give you only one flower, one fruit. Correct, no? Paravatanya Vritasarasa Chakravaka Datyuha Hamsa Shukati Tirivarhinamya Kolahalo Viramate Chiramatra Muchair Bhungadhipe Harikathami Vagayamane. See, the first two lines talk about a dozen different types of very, very royal birds, like cuckoos. Coo, coo, like that they sing, no? Very sweetly. And how the peacocks sing. They sing like that. They have a very sweet voice. And parrots are a little difficult to copy. Parrots. So they are all sitting in the spiritual world and they all are singing and flapping their wings. Kolahalo means they are all making loud sounds. Kalrav. At that time when bumblebee comes from Lord Narayana's garland, making sound like this. It is very eager to come and tell them something about Narayana. Then all these royal birds keep quiet. They become silent and they want to hear the glories of Lord spoken by whom? Bumblebee. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, the spiritual world, nobody is proud of their own greatness. Everybody thinks other devotees are better devotees than me. They always think like that. In the material world, people think the opposite. They think, I am the best devotee. Others, actually in Sattva-guna, a person thinks, I am not the only devotee. There are many good devotees, they think in Sattva-guna. Rajaguna, they think, I am the best devotee. There may be many devotees, but among devotees, one thinks, I am the best devotee. Tamoguna, one thinks, I am the only devotee, everybody else is non-devotee. They think like that. Whereas in spiritual world, everybody thinks, everybody else is wonderful devotee, I am not a wonderful devotee. They think like that in spiritual world. That's the way even the birds are.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hey! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
The bumblebee is singing and all the other birds are listening. So all the transcendental birds stop their own singing, simply to hear the glories of the Lord from bumblebee. So in spiritual world, nobody is proud. Nobody is envious, nobody is proud. They have great respect for other devotees. Mandara Kunda Kura Bhotpala Champakarna Punnaga Naga Bakulambuja Parijataha Gandhirchite Tulasika Bharane Natasya Yasmin Tapassu Manaso Bahumanayanti. There are also very fragrant flowers like Madhavi flower. There is a Nagakeshara, there is Parijata, there is lotus, there is lily. So they all are very fragrant. You all know, I have seen this chameli, this jasmine. How fragrant it is. The spiritual world has many big flowers with great fragrances. But they are not proud of their fragrance because they have great respect for Tulasi. Tulasi doesn't have a big flower. Tulasi doesn't have a great fruit also. But the Tulasi is a very dear devotee of the Lord. Tulasi, in the Surti camp, how many of you heard about Tulasi? There are a few hands up. Okay. See, the glory of Tulasi is very important. How many of you in your home, you have seen your mother watering Tulasi? You have a Tulasi at home. See, you all have, correct, no? So many people in India know it, that we have to water Tulasi, but they don't know why. I will tell you briefly. One time, there were two Brahmanas walking in a forest pathway, Sudharma and his friend. Sudharma was a very learned Brahman, but his friend was not. Both were Brahmins, went to Gurukul, but one was learned. So, suddenly in the middle of the forest way, Sudharma saw a Tulasi bush. Immediately he bowed down to Tulasi. And he circumambulated Tulasi and he watered Tulasi. Another friend asked, hey, why are you doing this? There are so many trees, plants. Why is Tulasi so special? He asked. And Sudharma said, you don't know? Come, let me tell you. So they both sat in the foot of a tree. And then he started telling him, long ago, there was a Samudra Manthan Leela, correct, no? One side demons, another side demigods. And then Lord Dhanvantari came out with the Amrit Kalash. That time Lord Vishnu felt a great joy that even with demons and demigods I have done a project. Made them bring out the Amrita. So in great Anand, he had tears coming from his eyes. Ananda Bashpa we call it. Any of you got good results in exam and you cried tears of joy? Anybody? Experience, correct, no? Of course, if you failed an exam, another type of tear you cry. Isn't it? But if you cracked the exam and you got first rank or something, you another type of tear. So Lord had tears of joy that came. It fell in the Amrit Kalash. Immediately Tulasi came out. So Tulasi is called Vishnu Toshini. Wherever there is Vishnu's pleasure is there, she is there. So he told this pastime. As soon as he told this, immediately that big Bata Vriksha got uprooted. Dhada! Cricket fell down. Both the Brahmanas jumped away from the tree. They thought, what happened? What happened? They got shocked. Out came one very effulgent Gandharva. He had a beautiful mukut and kundal and everything with folded palms with a big smile on his face. He thanked Sudharma for speaking this. He said, let me tell you how I landed in this tree. He said, long before I was in the heavenly planets, it was a hill station somewhere. There was a beautiful Apsara going ahead of me. I was calling her repeatedly. She would turn behind and then not mind my words. She would keep going ahead in the hill. So I was also climbing up in the mountain, moving, and it was a greenish mountain with a lot of trees and everything. So I took up a bunch of flowers and threw it at her. And then she turned her face away. And then the bunch fell in the lap of one Agastya Rishi who was sitting. Om, like that he was chanting. As soon as he saw it falling, Agastya Rishi looked up and said, hey, who is that? He looked at the Apsara. Apsara said, not me, that fellow behind me. She said. Then the sage looked at that Gandharva and said, hey, you guys are doing romantic activities here? This is a Tapovanam? So you are spoiling this place. So I curse you to become a Brahma Rakshas, he said. Immediately the Gandharva came down, fell at the feet and cried out and said, please tell me how will I get Vimochanam from this? He said, okay, if you hear two things, hear about Tulasi, hear about Vishnu's pastime. If you hear these two things, you will be liberated from that Brahma Rakshas thing. So immediately I glided down the Antariksh and I fell into this tree. So many guys are passing through the forest. Nobody spoke about the glory of Tulasi or glory of Lord Vasudev. You two guys spoke, therefore I am liberated now, he said. I am going up. So in this way, he heard the glory of Tulasi, and so in the Padma Purana and other Puranas it says, if one even looks at Tulasi, or one waters Tulasi, or one circumambulates a Tulasi plant, or bows down to Tulasi, one will eternally live in Vaikuntha, it is said. So now, why is it so special? Because the Shastras say that Tulasi lives in spiritual world as a gopi. Just like you are seeing these 8 gopis standing on around Radha and Madhava, right now? Like that, she is also a gopi. Her name is Vrinda Devi in the spiritual world. But she has expanded herself in the material world in the form of Tulasi plants, millions of Tulasi plants, so that we can reach her through watering this Tulasi and circumambulating. But in the spiritual world, she is the manager of the spiritual world. Manager means she allots services. So if you want any seva in the spiritual world, you will have to go to her only. She is going to connect you to a gopi or gopa or somebody, under whom you will get seva. That's why we say seva adhikar diye karo nijdas. Like that we pray like that. That's why we are praying to her. So the Tulasi is so sacred. One time, in another Puranic pastime says, one thief was running away from a police. And somehow the police lost him. The thief escaped because he went in a crooked manner in the forest. And when in the forest road, when he was running, one bullock cart was running behind. So Yamadutas entered those 2 bulls, and they made a plan that we will pierce this fellow with the horns of the bull, and then we will take him to Yamaloka. That was their plan. So suddenly the bullock cart driver was wondering why the bulls are running so madly. They were running like that. And he could not control it. And they were running, came very, very close to this thief. Thief thought, I escaped the police, but it seems I can't escape these bulls. I don't know why are they mad at me. He didn't know why. Then because of running too fast, he stumbled on a stone and he toppled, took a saucer and fell in a bush. And that bush happened to be Tulasi bush. So although the Yamadutas inside the bull, they came like this, they were about to pierce his chest. Immediately they saw his body touching Tulasi. Immediately they put a phone call to Yamaraj. Yamaraj, we are in a doubt now. Because you told us that never go near Vaishnavas and never, if somebody is in contact with Tulasi, can we kill him and bring him to Yamaloka? Yamaraj immediately said, don't touch him, leave him. Then what should we do? He said, you come back, he said. So immediately they retracted. And then they left the 2 bulls. And then they went back. So this fellow's life was saved. So in this way you will see the Tulasi's divinity is glorified. Because she is the
Hare Krishna Preyoshi Nama Nama Tulasi Krishna Preyoshi Nama Nama Broje Radha Krishna Sheba Pavo Eyobi Lashi.
So, Tulasi is always kept in Krishna's lotus feet. You have seen that? Isn't it? See, all these different ladies, you see, they are all personified forms of all these flower plants. They are all offering obeisances. You see them? Isn't it? So, in the spiritual world, the living beings have a great respect for the devotion. The Tulasi, this pastime in Dwaraka, once Narada went to take away Krishna somewhere outdoor somewhere. Immediately all the queens complained to Satyabhama, because Satyabhama is a strong queen, They said, see Satyabhama, always this fellow comes and takes away our Lord. Please make sure he will not take away. Satyabhama came in the front and said, Naraji, this time you cannot take our Lord, she said. Equivalent of Lord's weight, I will give you gold and silver. Take it and go. Narada said, it's all right. So they brought a taraju, one side Krishna, another side. They put their bangles and, necklaces and jewels and everything. It was piling up, but then Krishna's weight appeared to be so heavy that it was not lifting. So one of them went and told Rukmini, give us some idea. Rukmini said, very easy. She went to the garden, plucked one tulasi leaf and came and put on this side. Immediately Krishna went up like this. So that's why it's a Tulasi, means there is her devotion cannot be compared with anybody else's. She is very special. So she arranges wonderful pastimes in spiritual world. She has millions of parrots whom she sends to different parts of spiritual world, and they She designs the day of the Lord, morning, afternoon, evening, night, how the Lord will go where and what Leelas he will do. So there is Tulasi Maharani. Vaimanika salalanastaritani shashwat gayanti yatra shamalakshapanani bartuhu antarjalenu vikasan madhumadhavinam gandhena khandita dhiyopyanilam kshipantah. Read that translation, one of you. Who has the mic with you?
In the Vaikuntha planet, the inhabitants fly in their airplanes, accompanied by their wives and consorts, and eternally sing of character and activities of the Lord, which are always devoid of all inauspicious qualities. While singing the glories of the Lord, they deride even the presence of the blossoming
Which are fragrant.
And laden with honey.
See, there is a big flower called as Madhavi flower, which has a lot of fragrance and honey. So the fragrance comes up in the air. When they are flying in the aeroplanes, they condemn it. They don't even care for it because they think, let us not become forgetful of our seva to the Lord, in the name of enjoying the fragrance of the flower. Like that. So in this way, they are all engaged in seva of the Lord and glorifying the Lord. Yat sankulam haripadanati matra drishtair Vaiduryamarkata hemamayair vimanaihi Yesham brihat katitata smita shobhimukyaha Krishnatmanam naraja adadurutsmayadhyaihi. Yeah. Translation.
The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of lapis lazuli, emerald, and gold. Although crowded by their consorts, who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be stimulated to passion by their mirth and beautiful charms.
The Vaikuntha planets, the men and women are extremely beautiful. See, the men are compared to clouds, women are compared to lightning. Both are very beautiful. They travel in planes, crowded, but they are not attracted to each other. They are attracted to the Supreme Lord. That's the point it's mentioned. See, in this world also there are beautiful people. Somebody has a face is beautiful, but body is fat. Or somebody's body shape is good, but face is not that beautiful. Somebody has a shapely body and a face, but they have squint eyes. Some deficiency will be there in this world. Whereas in Vaikuntha planets, there is not a single dosh in their bodies. So, it is said that when they are traveling, see, 3:15:20. I want to show you one verse. This is the verse I showed you. Here what Prabhupada says here, if you see. See, the material world opulence are achieved by materialistic persons by dint of the labor. See, if you want an aeroplane in this world, you have to have aeronautics industry, right now? You have to build the aeroplane. There in spiritual world, if you want an aeroplane, you just bow down and tell the Lord, my dear Lord, for your seva, I want one aeroplane. Then lift your head, there will be aeroplane there immediately. You desire and it will be there. In fact, when Prabhupada was in the planet, such miraculous things happened. He went to this place called Detroit in America. He saw one beautiful bungalow called Fisher's Mansion. He went in, and along with the owner, he showed him the place. Prabhupada said, "This looks like a mahal for the kings," Prabhupada said. And the man was smiling happily. "I think Swamiji wants to buy it." And Prabhupada said, "But we are not kings, we are beggars," Prabhupada said. And Prabhupada openly asked him, "Can you give it in donation?" He asked him. Man said, "Swamiji, what are you talking? This is $23 million. Huh? How can we give it in donation? You have to purchase it." And Prabhupada went around and saw. And there were a couple of disciples. One was our Ford, Alfred Ford, Ambarish Prabhu. And there was another one. In the Alfred Ford company, there was a union. And the union man's daughter was Lekha Shravanti Mataji. You can imagine, generally the union and the company owners are not in good terms. Whereas here Prabhupada was with two disciples, and both were his disciples. Union man's daughter was Lekha Shravanti Mataji, and the company owner was our Ambarish Prabhu. They both were there. Prabhupada told both of them, "I like this place very much. For making a temple in Detroit would be nice." So, and then Prabhupada bargained with him and brought it down to $3 million. Can you imagine? From $23 million to $3 million. And he told both of them to buy, and they both purchased it. And then when Prabhupada came out and said, "See, I came with empty hands. Now I have come out with empty hands, and this beautiful bungalow has become Krishna's property." So Prabhupada said, for a devotee, you don't have to worry about anything. If Lord wishes, any miracle can happen, he said. Similarly, in spiritual world, you desire, it can immediately manifest there. And one more thing Prabhupada says, here you can read. Yeah, you can read this one. Read this.
It is specifically mentioned here that a woman's large hips are very attractive and they stimulate man's passion. But the wonderful feature of Vaikuntha is that although the women have large hips and beautiful faces and are decorated with ornaments of emeralds and jewels, the men are so absorbed in Krishna consciousness that the beautiful bodies of the women cannot attract them. In other words, there is enjoyment of association of the opposite sex, but there is no sexual relationship. The residents of Vaikuntha have a better standard of pleasure, so there is no need of sex pleasure.
Correct, no? You can see that. The spiritual world, people are not attracted to sex. In this material world, people are making big fuss about sex all the time, correct, no? In the spiritual world, they are simply joyful in serving the Lord. So in this way, you heard the description of Vaikuntha planets from Bhagavad Gita. You also heard from the Srimad Bhagavatam. One main difference between this world and that world is, in this world it is called Jivo Jivasya Jivanam, correct, no? One living being becomes a food for another. Whereas in spiritual world, it is Jivo Jenedo. That is this verse says that, you see, Yatra Naisarga Durvairaha Saha Sandra Mrigadayaha Mitrani Vajita Vasa Drutaruttar Shakadikam. Read it.
Vrindavan is a transcendental abode of Lord, where there is no hunger, anger, or thirst. Through naturally inimical, both human beings are phrase animal.
Human beings and fierce animals.
They are together.
Yeah. See, this verse says, Naisarga means natural. There are naturally inimical animals you've seen, like mongoose and snake. They are inimical. Tiger and deer. Cat and rat. Isn't it? Because cat eats rats. Tiger eats deers. Correct, no? Mongoose and snake have a fight always. But even those animals in spiritual world, they don't have any inimical nature. Because the tiger and deer, they drink water together in Yamuna. Because tiger is also vegetarian there. Tiger drinks only milk. See, in the material world, you see like this. So, then in the spiritual world, the tigers and deers have no enmity. They're dancing together, they're embracing each other. You can see that.
कथागानं नाट्यं गमनमपि वंशी प्रियसखी चिदानन्दं ज्योतिः परमपि तदा स्वाद्यमपि च.
We will take a break for the lunch prasad. When we come back, we will do the activity sheet we will do, evening. So now, in the morning, what you learned, why do we put faith in spiritual world? I showed you from Gita and Bhagavatam. So, Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.